Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Understable Podcasts. Today might be a short one. We always say that. We go for an hour and a half.
Yep.
I'm joined by my co-host, Mark Boonstra. Mark, how's it going, buddy?
What's going on, man? How's everybody doing out there today? Rhetorical question.
Yeah. They're not going to answer us. I mean, I'm doing good. I had a fun, eventful day yesterday. We'll get into in a little bit. But what about you?
Not too bad. I'm just kind of working and taking care of the house a little bit, but that's about it. Being an adult.
Yeah, lame. Super lame. The worst thing I've ever done, honestly.
Yeah.
For me, and I'm gonna this is gonna be a segue right into our sponsorships. I've been saying that I'm going to be part of Team Disc Baron for the 2025 season. I officially made my announcement yesterday on Instagram, Facebook. Look me up on Instagram, Brandon L. Schmucker. Give me a follow. But yeah, I've officially re-upped with Team Disc Baron for the 2025 season. My fourth season in a row with Team Disc Baron, and had a little photo shoot with my wife for the announcement. And we got some photos out on a course, and then I managed to hit an ace a few holes later. So eventful and fulfilling day of disc golf yesterday.
Very nice ace, dude.
Thank you.
Saw the picture.
Yeah, it was no chains ace. I put up really high sidearm, super stable Lucid X Felon, and it just crashed into the tray. Did one of those numbers where it kind of spins around, just like one of those dealios. So
around the world.
Yep, starting the year off strong. Speaking of sponsorships, announcements, and starting the year off strong, Mark, do you have any sponsors that you want to shout out?
I do. First and foremost, guys, Team Prodigy. I made the announcement on here a month ago that I was back on the team. I'm looking forward to that. And my second sponsor this year, I am joining Brandon on Team Disc Baron. Let's go.
Let's go, buddy.
So the story with that was I just randomly decided to apply for it because I saw on Facebook that they're taking applications, and got the email that I was selected and to fill out the contract and go from there. So pretty pumped.
It's a fun group of people, and it's good team to be a part of, and I'm excited for this year as I'm just going to be more involved in the community and just play more disc golf that I didn't get to play last year for reasons that were a little out of my control, but we're back at it this year. So congrats,
I started
buddy.
the year out strong this year. January 1st, played a charity event in my local course, smacked my first ace of the year, and then not even a week later I smacked another ace at the same hole.
So you have two.
With the same disc.
You have two. I have one.
have two.
Somebody else in our group has at least one or two, right? Is it Wyatt?
No, he doesn't have any this year.
He doesn't have any? Who was it?
No. It's just you and me.
Oh, okay. I'm saying, man, we got to put $5 on it. $5. It's in the pool. It's like, then whoever wins gets like $25-$30. But yeah, congrats to you, buddy. Welcome to the team. Nice start. Couple aces. You're ahead in our local or little group ace race that we do.
And I want to give a quick social media shout out for myself. You guys look me up on Facebook, Instagram, look up Mark Boonstra, and on YouTube look up Mark Boonstra _disc golf. You can find my content there. I'll be getting back into that content this year. And if you're watching this on YouTube, guys, hit that like and subscribe button. We could really use it. We're just trying to grow our audience and grow our channel a little bit.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, Brandon. Episode 58. What do we got today?
So we got a few things today. I'll give y'all a little bit of a preview. We're going to talk about a major signing that was kind of on the walls for a long time, and we've alluded to not that we have talked to this gentleman, but it's been going around where this player is going to sign. So we'll talk about that first. We will talk a little bit about the start of the DGPT, and we'll talk about some events that we're excited for. It'll be a kind of a breath of fresh air because I feel like there's been a lot of doom and gloom in the off season for a lot of, at least for me, because I follow House of Disc brands. And then we'll kind of just talk about our goals for 2025 personally. Mark and I, and the direction that we're kind of hoping to take our games, and just preview what we have in store for 2025. So, Mark, kick us off with our first part. We've got a big signing from Discraft.
All right, guys. As you know, Richard Raptor Legs Wysocki announced that he was leaving Team Dynamic Discs. And it was rumored for probably 2-3 weeks before he made the announcement that he was leaving, but signed a contract with Discraft, and he seems pretty pumped about it.
Mm-hmm.
If you follow Ricky on YouTube, he's posted a video out at Vista of him throwing some of their molds, and he's excited.
Yeah. One thing I think it's kind of funny about Ricky, not like funny, but like he has been to almost like every major manufacturer at this point. You know, like he's just missing like MVP, like maybe
and Discmania.
I was just gonna Discmania. Like those are the only two I feel like he hasn't been in. But good on Ricky. In my opinion, I think it's a good signing. He is like the definition of the archer, not the arrow. I'm sad to see him leave DD, but obviously, like, what's in his best interest is what's in his best interest, and things at Dynamic have not been amazing over the last couple of years. A lot of things just kind of getting flipped upside down in house over there. It is unfortunate to see.
Yeah.
I think
for more info on that, listen to our last episode where we get into the potential bankruptcy in the state of House of Discs. Specifically Dynamic.
But I think it's a great signing for Ricky. He goes out and he is the type of guy who will go out and he'll get what he deserves, and rightfully so. He is currently ranked the number 2 player in the world. You can't be asking the number 2 player in the world to take a pay cut for you, which is the situation that he was presented with. So not a surprise to see him go to Discraft. I think that we don't know everything, but they seem to be the most financially sound brand in disc golf right now, without us having raw numbers in front of us. And they have built a monster team in the off season. What are your thoughts? Do you have any like initial thoughts about the signing?
Honestly, it's kind of the same where you're at. They are. Discraft is probably one of the top teams in the nation right now.
Yep. And
I don't know. I don't think I can see Ricky going anywhere but Discraft at this point.
Yeah.
I really don't, because I know Prodigy's not going to spend the money for Rick. MVP's got their 2 big hitters right now. Well, 2.5 if you want to throw German in mid-pack level. Innova's set.
Yeah.
So the only thing that made sense was Discraft or an open bag.
Yeah.
And I don't see Rick throwing an open bag at this point in his career.
No, I don't think Infinite's bringing in the kind of money to pay him what he deserves, and that's the key here. Like he can demand whatever he wants, within reason, within whatever like the market is going for. At the time, the market was paying millions of dollars for players. That's what he was worth. Now the market seems to have slowed down, and players are, I wouldn't be surprised. I don't think we got like a money value for this, but like I wouldn't be surprised if he has something in the ballpark of like maybe like 300,000 to 500,000 guaranteed a year or something like that. Isaac Robinson obviously going over to Latitude 64 and getting a deal that's kind of like worth half that in guaranteed, but with potential incentives up to like 500,000. So Isaac has the 2 world championships, but obviously not as decorated of a player as Ricky Wysocki. So I would imagine his deals. Go ahead.
Isaac's only been playing for a couple years now. Ricky's been playing for a decade.
True. Yeah.
So I think if you give Isaac the same time frame, I can't say he'll have the same accolades or the same amount of wins or any of that.
Yeah.
I think he'll have just a very similar resume overall.
Yeah, Isaac won't have the a one Paul McBeth in his way of all of his victories, because without Paul McBeth, we would be talking about Ricky as the GOAT.
Oh, yeah.
He'd be in the GOAT conversation if Paul didn't exist. He would have won countless events. 6-7 years ago.
What, 8 last year if it wasn't for Gannon?
Yes. Yep. So he's still cooking, man. He's still so consistent. He's still so good. So good. So good for him. Discraft over the off season. Let's see, Ricky Wysocki, Anthony Barella, Ezra Robinson. Re-upped with like Paige Shue, the Mondojano sisters, Chris Clemens. We got to be missing more. Like Ben Calloway's been, we got Ben Calloway,
Corey Ellis re-signed.
Corey Ellis.
Again, Paul's still there. Paige is still there. Chris Dickerson's still there.
Ulibarri. Yep. So they're Austin Turner finally getting picked up. So they're sitting good, man. They've had quite the off season.
Yeah, they have. So, what about some of the other signings that came out recently? Kona going back to Innova, and what surprised me was Macy Valdez going back to Dynamic.
I found that very surprising as well, especially with how tumultuous things kind of seemed on her way out. But we'd never heard if like that situation got like remedied or anything. But now that they've kind of cut ties with Ricky, they I feel like maybe they have a little more money they could put towards Macy to maybe mend that situation. Macy was a really good player when she had left the tour for a little bit, for her pregnancy. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm happy to see that as a guy who throws Trilogy. I think it's going to be one of those things for Dynamic. If they want to survive, they're going to be really slow. It's going to be really, really slow for them for a few years, kind of like it was before, Rick. But we'll see.
Be like Prodigy. Just time to reset and start fresh.
Yeah, I think a few Prodigy and Dynamic, those are the two brands that really stick out to me as brands that are in like a rebuild mode. If you want to put it like an NFL team, I think they're
right.
They're on the they're down but not out. Speaking of Prodigy, signings for Prodigy this offseason, they had a couple solid ones.
They did.
I mean, you first of all, right?
Yeah. You'll see me on tour.
Yeah. But who else did they grab?
No, they grabbed Gavin Rathbun. They grabbed Deanne and AJ Carey.
Mm-hmm.
There's a few others I can't think off the top of my head, but they made some good signings this year. I think they have a solid starting team.
Yep. I like those signings.
Not somebody that's they're not going to be hunting world titles or, European championships or anything like that, but they're going to be a solid team that's going to hopefully promote and bring better name to Prodigy.
Yeah. I like those
Broderick
signings.
Guy, the YouTube channel Broderick. Will sent him a ton of plastic. He's been putting some pretty good reviews out there.
Yeah. And we talked a little bit off camera. First of all, I think those are great signings for Prodigy because they are signing high ceiling guys, which that's what they did with like Isaac and Ezra in Gannon. They had guys with very high ceilings, young guys. So I like the signings there. They could potentially follow like a very similar path, bringing those guys up and helping them bring the brand up. But we talked a little bit off camera about a potential business model for Prodigy now because they're kind of down as far as like player signings. But we talked a little bit about Innova and how they don't seem to spend a lot on players, right? They kind of just go. We all know that they sell very well, and that's how they survive. They've survived on quality products, and I think Will's kind of trying to follow that same business model, right?
Yeah, absolutely. His goal right now, from what I've heard, is he's focusing strictly on bringing the quality of Prodigy Disc back up to standards and going from there. Because everything starts with the quality. You're not going to get big players if your quality of plastic isn't that good.
Right.
And I know one of the biggest issues has been the flashing over the last few years, but I look at that as you can legally sand that down. So it's not really an issue. Take some, 500 grit sandpaper, whatever you got to take, or a scuff pad and just sand it off.
Yep.
You're good to go. Or just throw it.
Or just throw it. Yep. I had a Ricky Glow Harp that had a lot of flashing, and I just threw it enough to where it came off.
But see, that's exactly it. Prodigy's not the only company with flashing. It's just people made a big deal about it. That's all it is. And when you constantly hear this, that, and the other about a company, whether it's positive or negative, eventually you're going to start to believe it.
Right.
Like if I kept telling Mahomes is the greatest QB ever, lies, but eventually believe it because, like, I'm sorry, Tom Brady is the GOAT.
Yeah, he is. He goes.
Tom Brady didn't pay the refs off to win games. I'm sorry, but he didn't. Brittany
Mahomes would be calling for your job right now.
Hey, she can have my job. I'll take hers.
Yeah, let's get Brittany Mahomes on the podcast, man. I'm sure she'd love it. She probably don't even know what disc golf is.
I'm at my actual job.
She could take that. She could take that. But yeah, like quality of products. That's, regardless of how people feel about, like, I don't throw Discraft discs because they're kind of slippery in my hands. My hands are kind of dry. It's a personal thing. But they make quality discs. They're durable. Same with Innova. They make quality products. No, they've had some inconsistencies with their stuff. Like, you can pick up 7 different destroyers and probably get a lot of different flights out of them. It's not like super consistent, right, but they produce on a massive scale, and that also, I feel like people kind of actually enjoy that aspect of Innova, is the varying flights with the same feel.
See, and I get that with Prodigy too. Like my D1s, I had 3 D1s in the bag. I went down to 2.
Right.
But because I had an overstable, a stable, and a flip.
Yep.
All 3 D1s, just different weights, different plastics, and they fly different. And I'm okay with that. That helps me to minimize the molds in my bag.
I think Prodigy, in my experience with Prodigy and throwing Prodigy, now I remember when they first came out, the plastic felt so different, which was fine. Like that, I thought that was part of their business model as well, as how different it is. But I don't know if that affects the quality of it. That I can't really speak to because I don't throw a lot of Prodigy. But in the hands, I'm not going to. I'm too old at this point. My bag's all set. But you just kind of don't really, with Innova and Discraft, their model for a while, or over time, especially with Innova, has just been quality plastic, and that's the bottom line, is that they're just able to sell discs. So that's how I feel like they have, such a grasp or such an iron-fisted grip on the market and who they're able to sign.
Well, not only that, but they're not out there having players sell their discs. You're not out there. Not everybody's looking for a Heimberg Destroyer or a Germ Thunderbird or whatever. The discs themselves sell.
Yeah, like what you're getting
part
with
of
a Firebird.
Because of how long. Yeah, part of that's how long they've been in business too.
Yep, it is. So yeah.
All right, what's next, Brandon?
Next, Pro Tour starting up. It's going to be the 28th of February. It's going to be our first Pro Tour event. We got the Discraft Supreme Flight Open. Was there anything schedule-wise here on the Disc Golf Pro Tour that you wanted to point out or wanted to talk about? We're starting in Florida.
Okay, so we are in Florida. Okay, maybe they are playing the same track. I thought they were playing a different track this year, but I'm wrong. Maybe.
Yeah, we're starting in Brooksville, Florida, for the Supreme Flight Open.
I don't know. I think I'm most excited to see the whole European swing, to see who all's going to go over there and who's going to do well in those tracks.
That was literally like where my brain was too. It was like my thing with the Pro Tour, and this is just maybe me being a weirdo. Like I never get like super invested in the Pro Tour. I mean, I do. I'm invested, but like my excitement for the Pro Tour kind of starts when they hit that, like when they kind of hit like June and we get like, or like late May, we get like, events in Portland, and then we've got the Preserve and stuff like that. And then we start going overseas, and that's where I get really excited, is the overseas stuff. And they've expanded on the overseas events so much. How many do we have this year? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 events overseas. No, we got more than that. 1,
there's one
3,
in
4,
May.
5, 6.
There's the Konopist Open in Prague.
Yep.
In May.
Yep.
And then there's, let's see.
And then the Ale Open in Sweden.
Yep. PCS Open, Krokol Open, European Disc Golf Festival, PDGA Worlds in Finland this year.
Yep.
Which is interesting.
Yep.
Turku, Yeah, they got quite a few events overseas this year. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it, and I'm excited to see the European players come and show out because we've talked a little bit about how we think, how like Innova and brands like Latitude are investing in European players and the European pool of disc golf. I'm excited to see those players kind of show their stuff. Yeah, it'll be super interesting because it seems to happen all the time. Like European Open, we always seem to get one or two European players who are threatening for the win. And I think it's just exciting. I think we're going to see more of that. I think we're going to see a little more, I don't want to say parity because like we have a lot of parity in disc golf, but like as far as the players represented, seeing the parity there, I think it's going to be really interesting.
Yeah. I like watching European disc golf because I feel like they take the sport more professional than in America. You actually see things being called from the officials, and their dress is a little more appropriate, a little more professional.
Yeah,
but
I like their courses.
That's just me with the golf background. I like to see things like actual polo shirts and not wearing camo hats and stuff like that. I mean, come on, Chris.
Come on, Chris. Yeah, and I don't have a golf background, but I do enjoy golf. I love watching golf. I love the sport, obviously, because there's that correlation with disc golf. And I like dressing up for casual rounds sometimes, honestly.
Oh, I do.
I do too. Look good, feel good, play good. That's something that I've kind of, that's seriously like an aspect of disc golf that I've kind of embraced. So when I want to go out and have a good round or get like some serious practice in, I'll dress up. I'll put the polo on. I got them for a reason, Why
like
save
that
them?
1,000 rated round?
Yeah, exactly. Was I wearing a polo that day? I don't remember.
I don't think you were.
I don't think I didn't even have my regular putters. Remember, I left my putters at home. Yeah. I didn't even have my regular putters. Oh, I was playing with alpacas.
So for stateside events, what are you looking forward to the most?
I got two in mind. Now this one is just because I'm excited. It's just a hype part of me. I'm excited for the Supreme Flight Open just because I'm excited to see disc golf come back. Like, I'm just excited to get over the off season. It's been eventful, but I'm ready to just get into disc golf, and we're so close. We're literally just a few weeks away. We're recording this on the 9th. And this event starts on the 28th. I'm just excited to see the players get back at it and see all the players with their new sponsors and see what they can do. I'm expecting Ricky to not really slow down. I'm curious what he's going to putt with, but like I think he's going to do great on Discraft. I'm just kind of excited for that first and foremost. Second of all, for me, I always enjoy watching the MVP Open. I got to wait a while for that one because it's not until September. But I love that they pushed that event into the fall to really like showcase the colors and that side of the country that time of year. I love watching that event because I think that's just a legendary course. And one of these days, I'm going to take a vacation and I'm going to go over there and play it.
Let's go. I'm ready.
What about you?
Like you said, I mean, I am excited for disc golf to kick off again. DGen subscriptions up and running. So I'm ready to sit back on the weekends and watch when I'm not playing.
Yeah.
But the partial side of me is I'm looking forward to Idlewild again. It's such an equalizer.
Yeah.
It's a track where it doesn't matter if you can throw 600 or 700 feet. You get in the woods there. It's such an equalizer course. You have to be able to shape shots and play clean. That's the number one thing with Idlewild. You have to play clean.
Yep. Accuracy wins there.
100%. Like when Isaac went like 30 something down and won at his first win, I think it was.
Yeah.
He was throwing putters off half those tee boxes just to hit placements.
Yeah, it's so interesting to watch that event and see the different game plans. You know what I mean? Like see how players attack the courses differently. That's the beauty of disc golf right there, is when you get into a course like that and seeing those kind of different approaches to the course. And I feel like golf doesn't have that as much. I feel like they're kind of hitting a lot of the same clubs off of the tees, because they're all pretty, I don't want to say pretty equal in skill, but the game plan for the holes, I feel like, is a little more laid out. Landing zones, I feel like, are just a little bit different. But in those wooded courses, that's where you can really see like the players kind of show off their unique styles.
Right. And I mean, I do enjoy some bomber courses, getting to see the pros open up and see what they can do.
Right.
But I don't enjoy that week after week. No. So I think the other part of the tour that I'm really excited for is the actual East Coast, the Green Mountain Championship, MVP Open.
Yeah.
For some reason, I really like Smuggler's Notch.
Yeah.
And Brewster Ridge. I think those are great courses.
Yeah.
So they remind me of Idlewild a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'm a huge fan of that style of gameplay.
I would one of these days I have to go to the Great Lakes Open. I mean, it's in my backyard. Not really. It's still like a 2-hour drive over to Detroit, and I live more in the Grand Rapids area. But one of these days I'm actually going to go there. I'm probably going to play the course this year. Finally, I've never played it, but that is on my radar to do. But yeah, maybe I'll go to that event. I think that'd be fun. Go catch the final round or something.
It's definitely worth it to go watch at least the MPO play.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right. Anything else for the tour? Or should we move on to our last thing?
I think we should move on to the last thing.
Okay, last thing. Goals for us personally in 2025. Do you have anything you want to start out with?
Sure. So, the last 3-4 weeks, I've been really thinking on form and trying to formulate what I want to improve the most this year. And right now, I want to be able to throw my putters 300 feet off the tee.
Okay. Yeah.
I want to gain distance. I can hit it about 240 right now, max. I want to get to about 300 with putters. That would be a huge confidence boost for me. As far as tournament goals go, I'm shooting for 3 wins this year.
Okay. Yeah, you could do that easily, man. Honestly,
I'm riding high off my win at Echo Valley. I finished second in the January 1st event. I have a lot of confidence in my bag right now going forward, and I'm just hoping to build on that and get my 3 wins.
So you got one already, right?
I got one last ball. No, I have one from last fall.
Last fall. Okay. So we're resetting the counter.
2025. I want 3 wins.
And you play enough events, like it's totally doable. So added distance, more wins.
Yep. Okay. And I can't just say added distance. Like, I want more consistency overall.
Yeah.
But being a to throw my putters, a little more distance would be huge. Be a lot of help.
Yeah, it will. And just putter rounds in general, like I feel like I've said this like 7 times on the podcast already, but like in the spring I will play 1 or 2 like putter only rounds that helps with the timing that you've lost over the winter. And just kind of helps you build your angles a little bit better, and your release angles, your release points, and your timing. Those are things that you can work on with putter only rounds, and they translate up the line. So you do it enough, then all of a sudden your mids are feeling better. You throw your mids more. That helps with your fairways, and then obviously we move on to your distance drivers. So that is kind of how I build from the ground up after I've had a long winter. But yeah, I think that's a great starting point, especially anything putter related. Yes.
Yeah, and I think if I could pick a rating goal, not necessarily to achieve, but I want to hit a 920 rated round this year.
Yeah, you could do that very easily, man. Very, very easily. I think you should. I think you'll hit a few of those this year.
I'm hoping. That's my goal. Just at least one 920 rated tournament round. A couple of years ago it was 900. I hit that at Fall Color Classic.
Yeah.
I had a 914, I think, at Fall Color Classic that year is what it ended up being.
Yep.
So this year my goal is 920 for a rated round.
Very, very much in your wheelhouse, I think.
So what about you, Brandon? What goals you have?
So for me, I feel like the bar is set pretty low when I compare to 2024, because like in 2024 I played, but not nearly as much because of some circumstances outside of my control, like I mentioned. But this year I've already been playing a good amount through the winter. I didn't play any tournaments last year, nothing. So I didn't even renew my PDGA number because I don't usually do that until my first event, and something happened before my first event even came about, so I never renewed. So just getting back into the competitive side of disc golf, I'm really excited for. Goal wise, maybe just up my rating. I don't have like a number goal, but just to go higher consistently. I've been working out, been going to the gym and stuff. I already have added distance. You were there. You've seen it. When I overshot 6 by, what was that, 50 feet over at JC. But continuing to add distance, continuing to shore up my sidearm is a big one. That has been improving, and I'm going to continue to work on that and improve. But yeah, just get healthier, get better, increase my rating, play some more events, put them in the calendar, and just go for it. Hoping for maybe play some league too, get back to the Brewer League, and that's a really good way to exercise that competitive mindset. So go to league, play some events, get better, just be a part of the community more than I was last year, because I really missed disc golf, and I'm excited to get more into it this year. So that's what I got.
Cool. Good stuff.
Yeah.
So for some final thoughts, I do have an amateur approach for this week.
Let's hear it, buddy.
And I've preached this before on this podcast. If you're new, stop throwing the overstable discs. I've actually been playing quite a few rounds with a guy. I played January 1st with both tournament rounds. No, first round. And he's only been playing for a few months, but he's sitting there throwing Nuke OSs and Oakley Felons and all this stuff. And he's having to force over turnovers with lefty forehand. And it's just, he's losing a lot of consistency with it. So I've been trying to advise him on throw understable disc, learn your form, learn your control, and then start moving up to the overstability stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. It's throw slower. Throw slower discs. You know what I mean? Throw those putters.
Absolutely.
Throw those mid ranges. Go get yourself a buzz. I mean, I take that back. What Prodigy disc would you recommend to start with? Let's go there. What's a nice straight mid range from Prodigy?
Probably the M3.
Okay, M3. Go
M3 or
get yourself an M3 or an M4. Learn to hyzer flip. Learn to be consistent and control your wrist angles on release. Body language affects your shot. So if you follow through the right way, you can make an understable disc stable. Pro tip. All about follow through.
Yep. So, any final thoughts, Brandon?
No. I'm just excited to go play disc golf. Got the Super Bowl tonight. Not super excited to watch it because I'm a Bengals fan. So, but it's also my joint birthday party with my 4-year-old. We're gonna have a Paw Patrol birthday party tonight and watch the Super Bowl, baby.
Nice. So, all right, guys. Hopefully, we have some more guests lined up here soon to bring on and share some knowledge with you guys. But until the next episode, keep it in the fairway.